Kausik Mukhopadhyay is a chemist, and 10 years ago he was living in snowy Michigan making coatings to better repel ice when a routine trip to the doctor changed his life.
I was actually coming out from my doctor, and that's when I saw the emergency unit coming in.
He saw a gunshot victim and all the medics trying to stop the bleeding.
That was my first time seeing so much of blood.
And he wondered why they couldn't repel the bleeding with some type of foam coating. And then he realized what he specifically envisioned had not yet been invented until now.
It actually seals all around the wound.
Kausik left his job in Michigan to become a professor at the University of Central Florida. And he and his doctoral student, Preeta Sarkar, developed what they call SilFoam.
It was very hard to get the temperature right because sometimes I would get a sponge that expands a lot and I would get really excited, but then I would measure the temperature and it's so hot, it's not something I can apply to a human body.
It's two components in a dual chamber syringe. One chamber includes a biocompatible polymer called PDMS, which is inexpensive and widely available, and the other chamber has inorganic oxides in it that reacts with the polymer when you push the syringe.
And as those two liquids mix, it turns into a sponge, so it solidifies.
They use a mannequin with simulations of deep wounds to show how it works.
So as you see, within 5 seconds to it is already interacting.
The reaction generates oxygen gas that blows through the sponge, and it quickly turns from a liquid into a sponge that can fill the wound cavity. As it's expanding on the wound site, it's also applying pressure on top of the wound, which helps fight against the bleeding.
Well, there are other types of liquid bandages and wound treatments, but the UCF team says its product has unique advantages for treating deep and irregular wounds, including less leakage, the ability to store it at room temperature, comparatively lower cost and training needs, and much more. And they formulated it to stick in place just enough to do the job, but not stick too much.
How easily can that be removed if there's need for surgery?
Great point. Very easily. The whole thing comes off.
So once you just sort of pluck it out like it's a little plug.
They're also developing different types of SilFoam.
I've been here until like midnight, trying to figure things out.
One type contains antimicrobials to fight off infection, while another contains coagulants to stimulate clotting on the wound. And as they make this, they use what's called a rheometer to measure all the properties of the gel to make sure that it's effective and safe.
You just keep going until you get it right.
They applied for the patents, their work has been published, so the next steps include more testing and taking it to market.
When do you hope, in a best case scenario, when do you hope there will be ample supplies of what you have developed stocked on ambulances and in emergency rooms in the United States and around the world?
I would guess in another 2 years, I would guess.
We have an in-depth look at the research and development on the Fox Local app. You can also watch our prior segments and 30-minute programs you may have missed. Look for the section called Breakthroughs in Science and stream away.